Hello students. So let's continue with the problems based on section formula and midpoint formula. So let's quickly recapitulate the formula, recall the formula. So x comma y. So what is x comma y? The point which divides the line segment. The coordinates of the point which divides the line segment. It is given by mx2 plus nx1 divided by m plus n, comma my2 plus ny1 divided by m plus n, where m is to n is the ratio in which the line segment is divided. Let's take A and B. If P is the point which is dividing the line segment in the ratio m is to n, then P can be found. The coordinates of P can be found using this formula. Okay, if the ratio is unequal, suppose like 2 is to 3, 3 is to 4, if it is an unequal ratio, then you can use this formula. If it is an equal ratio, then you're going to use midpoint formula, which is given by x comma y is equal to x1 plus x2 divided by 2 comma y1 plus y2 divided by 2. This is the formula that we use if P is midpoint. Otherwise, we are going to use the section formula. So let's get into the next problem. So in the next problem, find the ratio in which the line segment joining the points minus 3 comma 10 and 6 comma minus 8 is divided by minus 1 comma 6. So it's a bit different question. See, earlier we used to find the coordinates of the point which was dividing the line segment, but here the point which is dividing the line segment is given. What we have to find is in what ratio is the point dividing the line segment. Okay, so let's take a point A. Okay, and let's take a point B. Okay, here as you can see from the question, A is minus 3 comma 10 and B is 6 comma minus 8. We are joining these 2 points. We are joining these 2 points, and these 2 points are divided by is divided by the point P, and whose coordinate is given now. It is already given. X comma y is already given, but earlier we were finding this. Now what we have to find is we have to find the ratio m is to n. In what ratio is it divided? Now from the data, from the question, as we know, x1 is minus 3, y1 is 10, x2 is 6, y2 is minus 8. What else is given? X and y is given, the point which divides the line segment. X is minus 1, y is 6. Now according to the formula, x comma y is given as what? mx2 plus nx1 divided by m plus n, comma my2 plus ny1 divided by m plus n. So here x comma y will be what? Minus 1 comma 6. Okay, m value is what? We don't know, we have to find it. X2 value is 6, so m into 6 plus n into minus 3 divided by m plus n, comma similarly m into y2 is minus 8 plus n value is, we don't know, we have to find it. Y1 value is 10 divided by m plus n. So let's solve this. Minus 1 comma 6 is equal to 6 into m, 6m, plus into minus minus 3n divided by m plus n, comma minus 8m plus 10n divided by m plus n. Okay, now what we are going to do here is we are going to equate. See, as you all know that the first thing, the first formula that we use, mx2 plus nx1 plus m by m plus n, it is to find x, isn't it? So we are going to equate the corresponding parts. That is the first part minus 1 with the first thing. Okay, this with this or 6 with this. Anything is fine. Okay, we have to equate it to get the value of m and n. So let's equate, which implies the first part minus 1 equal to, in the RHS, the first part, that is 6m minus 3n divided by m plus n. Let's cross multiply, which implies minus 1 into m plus n is equal to 6m minus 3n. Let's multiply. Minus 1 into m is minus 1m, minus 1 into n is minus 1n equal to 6m minus 3n. Okay, I'll transpose m to the other side, okay, and n to the left hand side. So here you have minus 1n, minus 3n from the RHS comes to the LHS, so it will become plus 3n equal to 6m minus 1m to the other side, it will become plus 1m. So therefore, if you simplify, minus 1 plus 3n will give you 2n, 6 plus 1 gives you 7m. So what we need is m by n, m is to n, isn't it? So what we'll do is we'll transpose n to the other side, that is n to the RHS and 7 to the LHS. 2 will be as it is. 7 comes from the RHS to LHS. So transposing this here, okay, and n here, okay, m by n. See, even if you cross multiply, you get back the same thing. M into 7, 7m, 2 into n, 2n. So you have to be very careful here, okay. Once you get m by n, please cross multiply and verify the previous step. So what we have got is m is to n is 2 is to 7. The ratio is 2 is to 7. Remember, we got this by equating the first part with first part, isn't it? So we have to verify whether it's going to satisfy the second part. That is very, very important. Okay. Let's do the verification. Okay. Whether 2 is to 7 is correct or wrong. So let's verify the ratio. Okay. So let's do the verification. How do we do the verification? Very simple. Let's take the second part. What is the second part? 6 is equal to, here the second part in RHS is minus 8m plus 10n divided by m plus n. Whatever the value of m that we have got, let's substitute. What is the value of m that we have got? It is 2, and the value of n is 7 divided by 2 plus 7. So minus 8 into 2 is minus 16, 10 into 7 is 70 divided by 9. Minus 16 plus 17 is 54 by 9. 54 by 9 is what? 6. So 6 is equal to 6. So what we have got is 6 is equal to 54 by 9. 54 by 9 is 6. So what we have got is 6 is equal to 6. So LHS and RHS are same. Therefore, this value 2 is to 7 is correct. So it's very simple. X1, Y1, X2, Y2, XY is known. So substitute in the formula. Then what we have to do is, after substituting, we have to equate the parts. That is, first part with the first, second with the second. So this first part with the first, second part with the second, we have to equate it. Okay. So first part with first, let's equate it. We get the value of m and n. Once we get it, equate the second part with second part and substitute the values of m and n. Check whether it is satisfying. If it is satisfying, then the value that we have found is correct. Otherwise, we have to check again. So let's get into the fifth problem. So fifth problem. The fifth problem, again, find the ratio in which the line segment joining A at 1, minus 5 and B at minus 4, 5 is divided by the x-axis. Okay. Also find the coordinates of the point of division. Okay. So here we have got A, okay, which is at 1, minus 5. Okay. So if I do it using the graph, it will be better. So let me take a graph. Okay. So let's say this is 1. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So minus 5 comes here. So 1, minus 5 is here. So your A point is here. Okay. I'm just doing it roughly. And B is minus 4, 5. Minus 4, 5 comes somewhere here. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. This is minus 4. And let's say 5 is here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Minus 4, 5 is here. Let's say B is here. Now, very clearly, if you join this A and B, observe it is meeting the x-axis here. So this point on the x-axis is dividing the line. Okay. We have to find in what ratio is it dividing. Okay. Also, we have to find the coordinates of this point. There are two things that we have to find. In what ratio, let's take this as P. In what ratio is the point P dividing the line segment? And we should also find the coordinates of P. Remember, if a point is on the x-axis, we represent it as what? X, 0. So we have to just find the value of X. Okay. So let me erase this and write it in the other way. Okay. So just imagine this is A and this is B. The coordinates of A is 1 comma minus 5, and the coordinates of B is minus 4 comma 5. Let's join this, and this line is divided by a point on the x-axis. Point on the x-axis is x comma 0. I have taken it like this. Okay. Now what we have to find is we have to find the x value, and we should also find the m:n ratio. Now, what is x1? x1 is 1, y1 is minus 5. What is x2? Minus 4. What is y2? 5. What is x? X itself. What is y? 0. Usually the point P at x comma y, isn't it? We take P at x comma y. In place of y, we have got 0. That's what I have substituted. So let's use the formula. What is the formula? We have to use the section formula. X comma y is equal to mx2 plus nx1 divided by m plus n, comma my2 plus ny1 divided by m plus n. So here x is x itself, but y is 0. So x comma 0 is equal to m value we don't know. X2 value is minus 4 plus n value. X1 value is 1 divided by m plus n. Again, m value as it is. Y2 value is 5 plus n as it is. Y1 value is minus 5 divided by m plus n. Okay, so let's simplify this. So x comma 0 is equal to m into minus 4 is minus 4m, n into 1 is n divided by m plus n, comma 5 into m is 5m, minus 5 into n is 5n divided by m plus n. Now here what we have to do is, as we discussed in the previous question, we have to find the value of m:n. How do we find it? By equating it, isn't it? First part with first part or second part with second part. So, but here, I'm sorry, if you equate first part with first part, we won't be able to find the value of m:n because we don't know the value of x and y. So what we'll do is we'll equate the second part with second part. Okay. So which implies 0 is equal to 5m minus 5n divided by m plus n. Cross multiplying 0 into m plus n is equal to 5m minus 5n. We know that 0 into anything is 0. So 0 equals 5m minus 5n. Send minus 5n to the other side. So 0 plus 5n is equal to 5m. So 0 plus 5n is 5n. 5n is equal to 5n, which implies send transpose n to the other side, 5 to the other side. So 5 by 5 is equal to m by n, which implies m by n is 1 by 1. Isn't it? 5 by 5 gets cancelled. 1 by 1. So it is dividing in the ratio 1:1, which means P is acting as what? Midpoint. Remember that? P is acting as a midpoint because the ratio is same, right? 1:1. Now let's find the value of x. How do we find the value of x? By equating the first part with first part. Okay. So x is equal to minus 4m plus n divided by m plus n. So let's substitute. X is equal to minus 4, m value is 1, n value is 1 divided by m plus n, 1 plus 1. So x is equal to minus 4 into 1 is minus 4 plus 1 divided by m plus n is 2. So minus 4 plus 1 is 3. So we get it as 3 by 2. So x value is 3 by 2. Therefore, the point P is x comma 0, that is 3 comma 2, 3 by 2 comma 0. That is 1.5 comma 0. That's the coordinate of point P. It is similar to the previous problem. Only thing is we were not able to equate the first part with first part because x value was not known. So we equated the second part with second part and we got the value of m and n, and we have substituted it in the first part so that we got the value of x. Let's get into the next question. Sixth one, a very, very important question from the exam point of view. Okay. Many a times this question has come for the exam. So you can put a big star mark for this question, a very important. Okay. Now what is given is, if 1 by 2, 4 by y, x by 6 and 3 by 5 are the vertices of a parallelogram taken in order, find x and y. Okay, so let's take a parallelogram. Okay, let me reduce it. Okay, let's take a parallelogram like this. Let's say this is A. The coordinates of A is 1, 2, and let's say the coordinates of B is 4, y, and this will be C, whose coordinate is x, 6, and this will be D, whose coordinate is 3, 5. Okay, so this is a parallelogram whose coordinates are given. What we have to find is we have to find the value of the missing values, that is x and y. Okay, so here we are going to use the midpoint formula. Okay, so let's draw the diagonals of the parallelogram. Let's draw the diagonals of the parallelogram. Okay, so let's say this point is O. Remember, we know that the diagonals of a parallelogram bisect each other, isn't it? So diagonals, very important. Diagonals of a parallelogram, bisect each other. So which implies OA will be equal to OC and OB will be equal to OD. That's the meaning, isn't it? Which means O is acting as midpoint for AC. It is also acting as midpoint for BD, isn't it? Because OB equals OD implies O is midpoint. Similarly, OA is equal to OC, which implies O is midpoint. So let's find the coordinates of O. Okay, O is acting as midpoint. So let's find the coordinates of O. Okay, for diagonal, using diagonal AC. Okay, so coordinates of O. Now I'm going to use AC. Okay, coordinates of O will be what? X1 plus X2 divided by 2, because O is midpoint. So that is why I'm using midpoint formula, Y1 plus Y2 divided by 2. Here X1 will become, see, now I'm talking about the diagonal AC, or let's take for diagonal AC. That will be best. For diagonal AC, coordinates of O. So X1 will be 1, X2 will be X divided by 2, comma. See, this is my X1, Y1, and this is my X2, Y2. So I'm just substituting that. Okay, so X1 is 1, X2 is X, Y1 is 2, Y2 is 6. So 2 plus 6 divided by 2. So what does this become? 1 plus X is 1 plus X itself divided by 2. 2 plus 6 is 8. 8 by 2 is 4. So this becomes 4. So what we have got is coordinates of O. Let's take it as equation 1. Okay, so this coordinates of O, we have found it using the diagonal AC. Now what we'll do is let's use the other diagonal. Okay, BD. Okay, for diagonal BD, again let's find the coordinates of O. Let's do that. Okay, coordinates of O. What will be the formula? Same thing, X1 plus X2 divided by 2, comma, Y1 plus Y2 divided by 2. But here X1, Y1, X2, Y2 changes, isn't it? So what is X1, Y1? As you can see, I'm using the diagonal BD. So X1 is 4, Y1 is Y, X2 is 3, Y2 is 5. Okay, so this is my X1, Y1. So X1 is 4, X2 is 3. So 4 plus 3, that will be 7 by 2, comma, this will be, let me check it, Y1 is Y, Y1 is, yeah, Y1 is Y and Y2 is 5. Okay, let's substitute that. So Y1 is Y, Y2 is 5, Y plus 5 divided by 2. Okay, this is also coordinates of O. Okay, so what we have done in both the cases is we have found the coordinates of O using different diagonals. But coordinates of O should be same, right? You cannot have different coordinates of O. Therefore, very clearly, and you can observe from equation 1 and 2, the LHS and RHS are same, right? Sorry, the LHS and LHS is same. From 1 and 2, both the LHS are coordinates of O. Therefore, I can equate the RHS. From 1 and 2, you can say the RHS 1 plus x by 2, comma 4 will be equal to 7 by 2, comma y plus 5 by 2. So here we are going to equate the first part with first and the second with second. Okay, that's what we are going to do. So which implies 1 plus x by 2 is equal to 7 by 2. Okay, both the denominators has got 2. You can cancel it or you can cross multiply it. So it becomes 2 into 1 by x is equal to 2 into 7. So it becomes 2 plus 2x is equal to 2 into 7 is 14. Therefore, 2x is equal to 14 plus 2 to the other side will become minus 2. 2x is equal to 12 implies x is equal to 12 by 2, which implies x is 6. Similarly, let's find the value of y. Let's find the value of y. For that, we will equate the second part with second. 4 is equal to y plus 5 divided by 2. Cross multiply. 4 into 2 is equal to y plus 5. 4 2s are 8 equals y plus 5. Send 5 to the other side. 8 minus 5 is equal to y, which implies y will be equal to 3. The value of y will be equal to 3. Therefore, the value of x is 6 and the value of y is 3. So remember, let's quickly recall what we have done. It's a very simple one. We have got a parallelogram. Okay. First, what you have to do is take the diagonal AC. Okay. Find the coordinates of O, that is midpoint formula, using midpoint formula, and find the coordinates of O another time using the diagonal BD. So 2 times you'll find the coordinates of O, equate it because both are coordinates of O, isn't it? So equate it, you'll get the value of x and y. Okay, students. So we'll continue with the remaining problems in the next video. Thank you.